Is your morning routine one of your favorite parts of your day? If not, stick around. Today I'm going to give you 8 pieces that make up an excellent morning routine. It will set your day off right and keep the joy and learning going throughout the day. That's how important a good morning routine is. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to get started. Here we go. Let me tell you a little secret about myself. When I started teaching kindergarten a really long time ago, my class would be sitting there doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would think, oh, I just wish the Pledge of Allegiance would go on and on and on, because it was the only part of my morning that I felt like my kids were under complete control of me. They were quiet, they were doing exactly what they needed to do, and then as soon as it was done, craziness again, right? And so over the years, when I started teaching kindergarten again, I knew that I was going to need a rock solid morning routine if I was going to be the best teacher and have the best class I possibly could. Can you believe that? The Pledge of Allegiance is when I felt the most in control of my day as a kindergarten teacher. It's true. Let's start with the first one. And actually, let's go ahead and jump back a little bit and not even start with the first one, but let's start with you. A good morning procedure and routine setup starts even before the kids come through the classroom. When I got there in the morning, I would turn on some music, ever so lightly, music that was just instrumental. I would undo all the chairs. A lot of teachers said, no, I have my students unstack their chairs. For me, that was too much chaos. If I could take literally, I think I timed it once, it was 45 seconds to undo all their chairs, put them around their tables, and be done. I didn't like them coming in and having chaos at all right? So I set my environment. Nice music. A bank of lights were off. Their chairs were set up, pencils were sharpened, supplies were out. I got it all set up for them because that was what, in my mind, I needed to happen. So that's what you need to do. What does my classroom look like before my students even come in? And then you get number 1. How do they enter the room? What do they look like? For my class, I liked them coming in the room independently. If I was at the back of their line, they knew exactly how to come in. They walked in, single file, walked in, and they knew what to do from there. Now, I know some teachers who like to stand in their doorway and greet each child as they come in. That's awesome. You need to do what you wanted to do. I was usually at the back of the line and they were filing in. Did I worry about what was going on in my classroom when I was still in the hallway and they were in the classroom? Nope, because they knew the expectations. So number 1 is how they enter the classroom. Number 2 is the housekeeping that they do. They hang up their coat. They take care of their lunch selection. If they have shoes or clothing they need to take care of. If they have library books, homework, notes, all the things that happen the very first few minutes of a day. Now, I am going to let you in on a little secret. If you want this time to go super smooth, you have to set up the tools for them to do it independently. You have to have a way for them to do their lunch independently. You have to have a way for them to do their homework independently, to do all the things by themselves. I did not help my students at all with the housekeeping chores. Okay? If they forgot something, we would deal with it later at a specific time, and we'll get to that in a second. I did not talk to them. It was their responsibility, and they could do it. Kindergarten and first grade kids can be very responsible when you tell them and show them exactly what they need to do, and you practice it, and you praise. The third thing that makes a great morning routine is specific morning work. After they enter the classroom, take care of their housekeeping stuff, they need a task to do independently. so that you can do some other teachery things. Hey, teacher friends, I just want to tell you that these routines and procedures, when done in your classroom, are going to start giving you a little extra time. And if you're like me, I was sometimes tempted to do things like prep work, my teacher prep work, as I had a little extra time because they were kind of on autopilot. I thought I'll just do a little prep for this, that, or the other thing. Don't fall into that trap. This time is set aside for something even more important than prep. What could that be? It is relationship building with your students. The reason this morning routine and procedure works so good is because they're independent, but you're also building those relationships with your students in a quiet, more intimate setting. And when that becomes the habit of your classroom, your students are going to blossom. So don't do your teacher prep, talk to your kids. Okay, so the morning work, it has to be something they can do independently. I would just have some very easy printables that they could do, and they knew exactly where to go. They would get it, they would go to their seat, and they would do the printable. In my classroom, when they were done with their little task, they kept it at their seat because it was one of the ways that I kept track of who I would talk to during the morning. So I would go around and I would put a little star sticky on their paper and talk to them one-on-one just for a few seconds for some of them. For some of my harder kids, that was the time that I could kind of zero in on them, see how they were doing, make sure everything was okay, talk to them about how good of a day it was going to be, how I was excited they were there, all the things. But I had them keep their printable on their desk so that I could give them a little star or whatever. And then I could keep track. Oh, geez, I didn't talk to Braden yet. He's over there. He's already done. And I haven't talked to him yet. So I could kind of visually see, oh, everybody got a star. Good. I can go over to the next group. Now you're probably saying to me, that's great. Everybody gets done at a separate time. And that leads us to the fourth part of a great morning routine. And that is to have something for your students to do after they're done with their morning work. An early finisher problem can mess up your morning routine because all of a sudden you have kids screaming, I'm done, now what? Or they're underneath the desk, or they're out in the hallway getting a drink, or they're already eating their snack. They will find something to do if you don't find something for them to do. Okay, so having an early finisher item for them is super important. And if you have been around here at all, you know that I have a bunch of early finisher solution games that my kids had in a binder that they could access at any time. And if you're interested in the early finisher solution, there's a link down below. You can click and find out more about it. I think as of right now, I have more than 60 games in this collection. They're independent print and go games for students to do. Okay, number 5 is to have music be part of your transition of your day. Music is going to bring so much joy and save your voice so much during your morning routine, because this is how it works. When my students heard a certain song come on, they knew, oh, that song means I take up my printable morning work and I go and I put it in my mailbox. They just stuffed it right in their own mailbox. And then they got back to their seat. And usually there was some action that went with the song. So the song goes on, they stand up whether they're done or not. And that was always the rule, whether they're done or not. They take their paper, they go over, they come back over to their desk and they stand. And usually we did some clapping with the beat until everybody was ready. And then we would do a, oh yeah, something like that. Okay, and I would turn the music off and we would start the rest of our morning routine. And that leads to number 6, our class chant. And some of you have seen the class chant before. I'll do it, go ahead and do it right now. When they were staying up, oh yeah. And I would say, Ready? And they would put their hands on their waist and they would say, I promise to be an excellent person, working hard to be smart, kindness in my body and heart, listen to my parents and teacher, be a participator. When I strive for all this, I will be a champion. And they would, that's so fun. And then they would have a seat and I would sing a song. Good morning to you, good morning to you. You can sing any little greeting song. That is the next thing. What are we on? 7? Something like that. And I would go around and I would make eye contact with each of them, put my hand on their shoulder or on their head and say, good morning to you, good morning to you. And sometimes I would have them join along and they would sing to each other. It was really special, okay? And then we would stand back up to do the Pledge of Allegiance. You kind of see what's going on, right? They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. That's okay. You do it how you want it. I liked having them be up and down because, again, it was active. It kept them like, oh, okay, I know what's next. I know what's next. I know what's next. Okay. Then we would do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they would sit back down and we would go through the next part, which is our daily schedule. I think we're on to number 8, right? And we would go through each thing because in kindergarten and first grade, their big questions are we having PE today? When is lunch? Do we have recess? Is there an assembly? All the things, okay? So we would go through our schedule. It was a visual schedule, so they were able to read it easily. And for some of my kiddos, they had a schedule on their desk. They would just flip to, oh, today is Tuesday. Okay, I have PE today. Oh, I have my gym shoes. And this is the time, every time, that I would say, today we have PE, today we have library. And they would be like, oh, forgetting their housekeeping, right? Oh, I forgot to turn in my library book. Oh, I forgot to put my PE shoes in the bucket. Oh, I forgot. Did they get up and have chaos then? Nope. Because I built in a different time. I would say, it's okay. During our time where we're doing drinks and bathroom, you can take care of your housekeeping then, not now, because we have important work to do. Those are the 8 steps to my morning routine that made it excellent. It was the same day after day after day after day after day. Music helped me, chants helped me, routines helped me, setting the environment for when they came in to have the day just right was super important to me. During my morning routine, I had a good 10-15 minutes that I could go around and talk to my students. It was so important to me, and it really, truly did make a world of difference. Now, I have a number 9 that after we were done with our schedule, then I would have kids come over for morning message. And morning message was a great part of our morning routine. If you want to know more about our morning meeting, our morning message, how I structured it, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Yes, please, on the morning message or something like that, okay? Because the morning message was full of chants and alphabet songs and all sorts of things that got us going for the rest of our day, getting us set up for success. So I hope you liked today's walkthrough of the 8 things, maybe 9, that make up a great morning routine and procedure philosophy. My name is Angie, and I was in the classroom for 25 years. And when I was done, when I retired, the Pledge of Allegiance was not my favorite part of the day. It was my morning routine time because I really got to know my students and it worked like clockwork. All right, if you have any questions about morning routines, let me know. I want you to remember that the creator of the universe loves you so much. And I think you're pretty amazing too. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.